Hello. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our today's presentation from the Bangladesh Student Association at the Florida State University. I will start sharing the screen. So we have a small presentation for you where we'll be discussing about Bangladesh Student Association first, and then we'll discuss about the Bangladeshi culture and heritage in briefly, and also give a small introduction to what we'll be cooking during the session today. Okay, let me share the screen. Can everyone see the screen that I'm sharing? Okay, so I'll start. So hello again. Welcome to our today's presentation. So this is the virtual international coffee hour featuring the Bangladesh Student Association, shortly known as BSA FSU. So we are the students from Bangladeshi origin, and as the sole organization for representing the Bangladeshi students studying in the Florida State University, we work towards helping the students of Bangladeshi origin in any way possible. We help the new students coming here to settle down, find like apartments where they can rent and they can live. And also we, throughout the whole year, we arrange different activities, different cultural programs and other events so that everyone has a chance to like get some entertainment and also have a feeling of home while studying abroad, so many miles away from Bangladesh. So that's our motto, like helping the students of Bangladeshi origin, but also we collaborate with other student organization and also with CGE in different international events, like International Bazaar and other events. I'll them briefly in the next few slides. And so yeah, that's us, the Bangladeshi Student Association at Florida State University. So, like I already said, we arrange several events throughout the year where the students get Bangladeshi students get a chance to like get some refreshment, some entertainment, and also get a chance to like get familiarized with other students from Bangladesh also. So the first event for us in during the fall semester is the freshers orientation, where we welcome the new incoming students. That generally takes place in the month of August or September when the fall semester classes start. Even this year we had the freshers orientation, but this year it was like everything else, it was done online using Zoom. And then there's the International Mother Language Day, which is a very significant day for us. So Bangladesh is the only country in the world where people gave their lives for establishing, that's our mother tongue, establishing Bengali as the prime language of our country. When in 1952, there are several language martyrs we have, and uh, to celebrate that day, to glorify that day, UNESCO actually declared the 21st February as the International Mother Language Day. So it's celebrated all around the world, and we also celebrated here. And at the CG Globe Auditorium, with CG's help, we celebrate the International Mother Language Day. Then there's the Independence Day celebration. So Bangladesh got its independence on 26th March 1971. So we generally celebrate the Independence Day also here with all the Bangladeshi students. And it's also done generally in the Globe Auditorium with CG's permission. Then there are some collaboration events like International Bazaar that's arranged by the CGE. So we participate in the International Bazaar, perform for like 10 minutes. There's a cultural segment. Also, we have a stall that has different Bangladeshi items, so we can represent the Bangladeshi culture to international students here. And also another collaborative event that we participate in with another RSO recognized student organization that's called Bongonol. That's an organization for students who speak Bengali. We have this event called Taranga, which is to celebrate two of our most renowned poets from the Bengali language, Rabindranath Tagore, who is a Nobel laureate, and also Kazi Nazrul Islam, who is the national poet of Bangladesh. So these are a few events, like 3 of them we arrange by ourselves and 2 are like collaborative events. So let's move to the next slide. That's the heritage of Bangladesh. So I'll briefly talk about our cultural and other aspects of our heritage. So like I mentioned, Bangladesh got its independence on 1971. Struggle actually began on 1952 for starting with the struggle for our language. That's why I mentioned 21st February. So starting from 1952, 21st February, that was the first like cornerstone of our liberation. Then let's fast forward to 1971, 26th March, our independence was declared. And after 9 months of like bloody war, we got our independence on 16 December 1971. So that's how Bangladesh was born in the map of the world. Then we have a individual calendar, like a Bangladeshi New Year. We have our own calendar. So we celebrate the Bangladeshi New Year, the Bengali New Year every year. And that's a huge festival in Bangladesh. Then we have an amazing seasonal diversity in Bangladesh. We have 6 different seasons in Bangladesh, and each season has its distinctive features. So on there are several festivals and our food habits that are related to these seasons. And there are different places in Bangladesh that if you any of you can like make time and go visit Bangladesh, there are lots of places to be visited. Like we have the longest sea beach in the world. It's called Cox's Bazar. And you can attend our festivals, and you can go to our national memorial, and you can visit the largest mangrove forest in the world. That's called the Sundarban. So this is our national martyrs memorial. So there are lots of places to visit if you are in Bangladesh. So let's come to the point right now. That is what we are going to demonstrate during our cooking show today. So we'll be actually showing Bangladeshi pita. So what's Bangladeshi pita? So pita, it's not pita bread, I should maintain. It's called pita, emphasis on the TH. So Bangladeshi pita is actually a savory dish, and it has like various versions, and you can see or in the list here. So there we have listed some of the very popular pitas, like the ones that are mentioned here. From these ones, today we'll be showing the puli pita. So we'll be discussing that in details during our during our cooking demo. And I just wanted to mention one thing is that food habit in Bangladesh is like one of our very interesting aspects. And for the pita, it's also related to our seasons and also our festivals. For example, this is now October, and during this month, we actually celebrate the Durga Puja, and we have different sweetmeats and this sort of pitas. And also during winter, that's the best time for the pita. So winter is coming, so this is the right time to get started to cooking to pita. So without further delay, I would ask Yang Lee to move us to the next part of our today's presentation. That's the cooking show featuring Bangladeshi puli pita. Thank you.
Thank you, Emmett. That's a fascinating presentation. And thank you for showing us those delicious pictures. I'm super excited to see them. Like, how did you make them, like, step by step later on? Thank you so much. So we transition to our cooking demo right now. I just cannot wait. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Jesse's Cooking Crew. I'm Manas on behalf of Bangladeshi Student Association, FSU, and my partner.
I'm Shojib. Today we will be showing how to prepare traditional Bangladeshi puli pitha. There are different types of puli pithas in Bangladesh, but we'll be showing 2 of them. One is sweet and another one is spicy. So let's see what are the ingredients for the sweet one. So here we have dried grated coconut of 1 cup. Then we have a half cup of milk. Then we will use 1 tablespoon of the sweetened condensed milk from here. We have also 2 jaggery cube, which we have crushed so that we can melt it easily.
Next, for the spicy one, we will require some finely chopped carrot, potato, and chicken. All of this will be 1 cup. Sorry, the carrot will be half cup, and then finely chopped onions. For the spices, we have the Panch Foron, which is a traditional Bengali 5-spice blend, then the cumin, whole cumin, and for the other spices, I have some cinnamon, cardamom, black pepper, and cloves. And then we have some turmeric powder, some red chili powder, garam masala, which is also a traditional Bengali or Indian masala, the cumin powder, some oil, and some flour. Next, for the dough, we'll need almost 1 cup of flour. Then with this, I will also use few pinch of salt and the oil. And there is a little bit extra for the spicy one. I will add some turmeric powder and whole cumin to change the color. And yeah, I have already prepared the dough for the sweet one. Now I will show how to prepare the dough for the spicy one. So first of all, I have taken 1 cup of flour. With that, I would like to add few pinch of soil, like 2 pinch of soil. This is not for the salty taste. This will just increase the taste a little bit. Now I will add some turmeric powder, which is for color, and it will like also add some taste. Now I will mix it. Then with the dry mix, I will add 1.5 tablespoons of oil. This oil will make the crust little crispy, and it will also help to handle the dough properly. Now I will mix everything very uniformly. It's important. When you mix everything nicely, it is easier to make the dough and get the perfect texture. Now I will add the water, but I'll need to add the water slowly. Okay, I'm adding the water. So you'll have to reach to the texture slowly by adding the water. In Bangladesh, generally the homemade prepared flour are used, which is freshly made from rice. We actually do not get that here, so we are using the flour. So there are some improvisation as all the ingredients are not readily available here in USA. I'm adding some more water. You can always adjust with water and flour when it is like more wet or dry. I want to add few more water to gain the texture. Okay, almost there. I think it's a little more wet, so I will adjust it with some flour. Yeah. Oh, I forgot some cumin seed. I can also add some cumin seed. It will help to differentiate the sweet and the spicy one. Okay, this is pretty much the texture. It is almost ready. Now Sajib will show how to do the sweet filling.
So I have already added some water to the pan and already added the jaggery, crushed jaggeries into the water for melting. You can wait for some time for melting and it will dry a little. Then we'll use this, I will add this milk to the dried coconut here so that it can get some moisture. Yeah, you can keep it for some time so that it can be completely soaked by the dried coconut here. You can keep it for like 15 minutes before doing this process. Yeah. For now, I'm just adding this to the jaggery. So we'll be adding those dried coconuts to the melted jaggery here. And we'll just cook it for 3 to 5 minutes until it becomes completely dry. We want to remove these waters from this mixture. Yeah, you can wait for like 5 minutes to make it dry. And after that, you can add 1 tablespoon of sweetened condensed milk. I'm going to mix it and continue to dry it. Yeah, after it becomes completely dry, it will be prepared. So in USA, we usually get everything ready and prepared for the cooking. But in our country, we may need to start the process from very raw ingredients. Like we pick the coconut from the tree and then remove the hard shell from it. Yeah, then after breaking the coconut, we prepare this grated coconut. In that case, we do not need to add any extra milk or coconut milk with that because it's already wet and have enough moisture. After 3 to 5 minutes, it will be prepared. Yeah. Now we'll see how to prepare the crust for the filler for the spicy one.
Okay, now I will start cooking the spice filler. For that, there is already medium hot oil. What I was checking if it's enough hot. So when the oil is medium hot, okay, I would like to mention there is almost 1/4 cup of oil, vegetable oil or canola oil. With that, I want to add pinch or half a spoon of spice blend in medium hot condition. Then some whole cumin seed, some cardamom, cinnamon, cloves, and black pepper. I want to stir it for like few seconds. Then I'm gonna add the chopped onion. The chopped onion needs to be cooked until it's golden brown. You need to stir it for like 1.5 minutes. Then you can start adding the other ingredients. Okay, I think we're almost there. I will cook it for some time. Okay, since we don't have much time, I will start adding the ingredients. So first here, I will add almost 1 teaspoon of ginger and garlic paste. Then I'll stir it for some time so that the raw smell of the ginger and garlic paste are removed. This is the purpose of adding ginger and garlic paste at this stage. When it is fried for some time, the raw smell is like removed. Then I will add some salt and also some turmeric powder, about half teaspoon to 1 teaspoon, depending on how much you like. It will add the yellow color. In Bangladesh, almost in 90% like recipe, we use turmeric powder. Like it's a mandatory ingredient for almost all the recipe. Now I will put the chicken here, the diced chicken, and we'll saute it for some time. Like we want to mix the flavor of all the masalas with the chicken. So it is very important to saute it for some time. The taste will entirely depend on the masala and how much you are doing the saute. I'll also put some red chili powder. It also depends on the taste you want. I'm also adding some green chili. So with Bangladeshi, mostly like most spices. It's also true for in the entire Indian subcontinent. So after the chicken is little bit cooked, I'm adding the other ingredients. The chopped potato and the half cup chopped carrot. Now I will saute it for some time so that everything is mixed nice and fine. Yeah. Then we want it to be entirely cooked. For that, on medium to medium low heat, we can put the lid on for 5 to 10 minutes, and you may want to check it for in intervals so that it's not burned. And after it is cooked, after 5 to 10 minutes, I would like to add some garam masala, cumin powder, and also the chopped onion so that it will be more tastier, and it will the chopped onions raw flavor will be there. With that will make it taste better. So now let's see how to make the crust and how to give it a shape. So let's see. So I have made two kind of doughs so that we can differentiate the spicy one and the crust for the sweet one. As I have earlier mentioned, for the spicy one, I have added some cumin and turmeric so that I can differentiate the color. It wouldn't vary the taste much, but it's just to make it more interesting. Okay, let's see how to make the round rotis for stuffing. For giving it a shape, it's important that you make a nice round ball. Your rotis will be round or like a map. It entirely depends on making this ball. I will add some dry flour so that it's easier to give it a shape. Now I will roll it with a rolling pin. Okay, looks like it's almost round. Yay. It's difficult to make it round sometimes. So the dough was perfect. That's why I can easily make it almost round. So this is the dough for the spicy one. Now I will make one roti for the sweet one. Again, I will take some dry flour so that it is easy to roll and it doesn't stick to the ground. So in our country, the crust is entirely made of raw flour. It's more soft, and when it is fried, that's more crispy. So I miss it here, but you can't help it. Here, we're making it with flour. It's almost close, but yeah, the two rotis are made. It's almost round, but if it's not round, in case, you can use a cookie cutter or like a lid, which I am using here because I have it. So you can put the lid on the roti and cut it with a knife. Okay, now the roti is perfectly round, like this. Then also make a spicy one, and you want to make the roti like the thickness won't be much. Thickness will be 1 millimeter to 2 millimeters. Otherwise, it won't be the crispy one we want. Now the final stuffing. For stuffing here, I am using a dumpling mold which I have got in Lean Oriental Market. It's easier if we use this mold. We can also use, like, do it without it. I will also show that step. First, let's see how to use the mold. Another thing, you want your cookie cutter to be a little bit more in diameter. You can see that the dia of the cookie cutter is little more than the mold. So it's important. So now I'm taking the mold. I will take the roti inside it and put almost 1 teaspoon of the spicy filling. We are using the prepared fillings here because the two fillings we are showing, it will take some time to be in room temperature. So we are using a previous pre-prepared filling. Let's see how the prepared filling is. This one is the spicy filling, the final output of spice blend. And this is the coconut filling. You can see the moisture content, it's almost dried. Okay, let's go back to the stuffing. So I have put 1 teaspoon of the spicy stuffing here. Then I'll just close the lid. Okay, wait a minute. I'll just close the lid and press it. I'll remove the extra part. And let's see how the final product is. Yeah. This is the final product of the spicy with a mold. Now I will show how to do it without the mold. For that, I will use the sweet filling. Okay, here I'm also taking 1 spoon of sweet filling. Now for the spicy one, as I'm using the mold, it will stick very easily. In this case, I will add some water at the side so that it is properly sealed. And now I'm closing very carefully. You want to stick it properly, because if somehow this joint is open in the well during deep frying, the well will be wasted. So you want to avoid that. Now this is already made, but for the extra design we can use the fork. Like here I'm using the fork. So at the end you will get a similar thing. So these are the demo of spicy and sweet one. Now I will deep fry it, then it will be prepared to serve. Let's go and fry it. Yeah, here I have some pre-prepared one. I have stored it in freeze yesterday. So before storing it, I have just like put it in a pan for some time so that the outer moisture is soaked and it is easier to store. You want a medium hot oil when you are deep frying. So let me check if the oil is hot enough. Yeah, it's hot enough. Now I will put this. Yeah, I will put all the details here. It will take some time. Like when you are frying it, you want to fry it in medium or lower medium heat, because if it's cooked in low heat, the outer crust will be more crispy. The final output will be prepared in like 5 to 10 minutes. So I have some pre-prepared ones, which I will show you as a final product. Let's see how the final product is. So this is the final puli pitha prepared earlier. So this is the final product for the spicy one. And this is the final for the sweet one. Let's see how the moisture and inside one. Let's break one. This is the final. There is a juicy flavor instead of drying it. Yeah, this is the final for the spicy one. And for the sweet one, yeah, this is the one. So this is the final puli pitha, traditional Bengali puli pitha. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. So if you have any question, you are welcome to ask me. Thank you.
Someone has just asked where we can get the mold.
Yeah, you can get the mold in Green Oriental Market. I don't know the address, like it's near the Capital Seafood Market. It's a Chinese, mainly Chinese shop. You can use Asian, Chinese or Asian shop. You can easily get it there. It's a dumpling mold. It's called dumpling mold. Or you can also buy it in some Chinese online shop like Shein. Yeah, that's the source I know.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
all. That's amazing demonstration. And I really appreciate that you walk us through every single step over here. That's really helpful, and it looks so good. I think
Thank
the
you.
only thing, yeah, sure. The only thing is bad about the COVID is since we're all wearing the facial mask, so we cannot see you bite that delicious. It's just like if you can see someone biting it, you can feel the crispy. It just looks so crispy and juicy.
Thank you. Hope these
Thank you
things
so
will,
much.
like, get over soon, and we'll be able to prepare it in a live, like real coffee hour. We hope that.
Yeah, yeah. And as a side note, I do love your kitchen. It looks so good.
Okay.
Sure. Thank you all. Thank you so much for our co-host. Is there anything that you want to say as a final thought?
I think
Fine. Can you repeat the question?
Is there anything that you want to share with everyone as a final thought?
As a final thought, okay.
If you don't
Everyone-
have, it's fine.
Be safe, and like maintain 6 feet distance. Hope the like world will get better soon. We'll see you soon in like real coffee hour. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you